and welcome. You tune into Market Fatafat with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me as usual is Snehi Shah, and this is the show where we get you all the buzzes in trade, why they are buzzing, either on the back of news floor or on the back of technicals. But first up, let's take stock of how the market is shaping up right now. Well, there's nothing much happening in the market. If you see, as far as Nifty is concerned, from the day's lows, we have managed to recover just 25 points. On Nifty Bank as well, we have managed to recover 77 odd points. There is a small recovery that's coming in from the day's lows, but like I said, it's more or less a lackluster day coming in on the back of the trepidations from the Indo-Pak tensions that's brewing.
Well, absolutely. Lackluster is what would sum up today's trading session. Even though we're not nearly at the end of it, we've been struggling to hold on to the 24,350 mark. In fact, we're not even being able to cross that mark today. So rather lackluster and range bound is what we've been. Flat on Nifty, flat on Sensex, a negative 0.4% drop coming in on Nifty Bank as well. India VIX on the back of the volatility that we're seeing in the market is up almost 5% as we speak. It's names like HDFC Life, Maruti Suzuki, Jio Financial, SBI Life, Power Grid, Bharti Airtel, HUL, Sun Pharma that are doing pretty okay for the street right now, on more than a percent uptick coming in on all of these. In fact, HDFC Life and Maruti are up more than 3%. On the flip side, pressure continues to build on the Bajaj twins. Bajaj Finserv now lower by almost 6%. Bajaj Finance lower by 5%. You have Trent on the back of stock. Like-for-like growth is down 3.8%. Remember, when the earnings came out yesterday, the initial knee-jerk reaction was a plus 5% on the stock. But diving into the fine print, now we understand why the stock is lower. Tata Motors, SBI, Ultratech, all of them are lower. Just quickly summing up and talking about what the sectors are up to in today's trading session, it's largely a shade of red coming in, except for Nifty, Realty, Pharma, FMCG and Metal that are in the green. IT, Auto on the flat line. PSU, Banks, Media and Energy continue to be the big losers of the day. So that's what the market is shaping up to be like.
All right, so that's how the market is shaping up to be. But let's get a guest on board. Nagaraj Shetti is joining us on the technicals, and from our research team now, we are joined by Ansh and Rabinder. Hi, good afternoon to all three of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with all the buzzers in trade. Then first up is UTI AMC. That is an earnings candidate. Right after the results came up, we saw this pressure building up on the stock. It tumbled almost 2.3% in trade. In fact, it slipped further. But let's take a look at the scorecard then. After the company has reported the net profit, which has tanked 46.2% to 87 crores in quarter 4 of FY25 as compared to 874, I beg your pardon, crore in quarter 4 of FY25 as compared to 162 crores in quarter 4 of FY24. Now, the total revenue from operations fell 9.6% on a year-on-year basis to 375 crores during the quarter, and the total asset under management stood at 21 lakh 5,049 crores. The equity assets plus active plus passive contribute 69% to the UTI mutual funds total average AUM. Now, there's also a note that has come out by Nuvama on UTI AMC, where they're maintaining a buy, and they've raised the target price to 1,270 rupees. Now, they feel that the adverse equity MTM hurts the AUM, muted other income has dented the APAT. Also, the market share indicators remain rather weak, but on the back of that, on the back of weak set of results and a massive blow to the profit, UTI AMC is in focus today, trading with cuts of over 3%.
Okay, so that's the reason UTI AMC is in focus. It's an earnings candidate. Nagaraj, coming to you, BEML is the stock that you've picked out for us. If I pull up the charts, last 6 months the stock is low by 22%. Last 1 month we've not seen any recovery from those levels. YTD and 1 year moves also very tepid for the stock. Do you believe that all of this consolidation now gives way to some upward momentum in the stock, and what are the levels that you're spotting?
Hi, good afternoon, Snehi. Rightly said, BML has been in a consolidation phase recently. After witnessing a sharp upmove in the month of March, it is showing some range-bound action, currently placed around 3,200, which is a strong set of resistance. I'm expecting this resistance to be broken up above on the hurdle very soon, around 3,200 levels. Once it breaks out of the resistance, the next upside levels to be watched around 3,400, which is at 200 EMA.
Okay, so that's the levels to watch out for on BEML. Let's move on from that and let's talk about Trent, because surprising to yesterday's earnings reaction, reaction. The stock is tumbling away in today's trade. It's a cut of almost 4% as we speak. Remember yesterday when the numbers came, the initial reaction, it came in the last few minutes of the market session. The initial reaction was very positive on trend. It's a beat on all fronts except the revenue where it was a slight miss. But when the numbers are so good now, why is the stock falling? This is because post-market, when the press release came and the final print came out, is when the street realized that the fashion portfolio like-for-like growth in Q4 is in mid-single digits. For FY25, however, it is in double digits. Now remember, Q3 like-for-like growth was in high single digits. Before that, we saw double-digit growth as well. So it's been a sharp decline on that metric. On the back of this, Nuvama has retained their buy rating but cut the target price to 6,224 compared to 6,662. They have also tweaked their FY26 and 27 revenue by lower by 2% and 1% each. Kotak Institutional also retained the reduced ratings on the back of expensive valuations and cut the target price from 50 to 50 to 5150 now. They believe that margins are a surprise, but cash generation has disappointed. They've also trimmed their FY26 and FY27 earnings and EPS estimate as well. Phillip Capital also downgrade on the stock with a cut in target price coming in. So overall, it's the details in the final print and like-for-like growth that's not looking good for trend. The stock is down almost 4% as well.
All right, that's trend declining in trade on the back of Q4 results. But coming to you, Ravinder, another candidate that's declining in trade, in fact, that's pulling down the Nifty index is Bajaj Finance that has come out with its results and a disappointing set coming in there. Tell us, what does the report card for Bajaj Finance look like?
Well, as Bajaj Finance is in focus in today's trading session, where company has announced its Q4 number, and the company reported a NII at rupees 9,807 crore, which was up by approx 23% year-on-year basis, and PAT also saw a good uptick of 17% year-on-year basis at rupees 4,480 crore. And we talk about provision, then provision was at rupees 2,329 crore, and company announced a bonus share of 4 share for 1 share each, and board also decided for subdivision of 1 equity shares into 2 equity shares. Apart from this, company has also entered into an agreement for acquisition of 12% stake in Product AI Lab Private Limited for 65 crore. So overall, Bajaj Finance number was slight miss on the estimate, though management sounded confident in FY26 number, but they have reduced long-term ROE and ROA guidance. They have reduced ROA from 4.6% to 4.8% to now 4.3 to 4.7%. For ROE, from 21% to 23% to now 19% to 21%. So back of this, stock is down over 5%.
Okay, so that's Bajaj Finance. But let's talk about Bajaj Finserv. That is also down and out in today's trading session on the back of a poor set of Q4 numbers. Ansh, take us to the earnings fine print.
That's right. So if we talk about profit, then that was down by around 3.2% on year basis. It was recorded at 7.6 crore almost. Whereas if we talk about its Bajaj Islands General Insurance, then gross written premium was reported at 4,326 crore, which was down by around 13% on year-on-year basis. Whereas their new business premium was recorded at 3,789 crore. This was also down as compared to its previous year's same quarter, which was at 3,953 crore. Talking about VNB, then that was actually up by around 14% to 549 crore. Also, if we see one chart, then the stock seems to have given a decisive breakdown from its key horizontal support of that 2,335 level. It has also slipped below its 20 DMA, hitting that 2-week low level. Also, if we check stock futures, then there we are seeing open interest has gone up by around 6%, indicating significant short build-up happening in the stock.
All right, moving on from Bajaj Finserv to ICICI Prudential Life. Nagaraj, you've picked out ICICI Prudential on the charts. That's up and away 2% today. In the last 1 month also, we've seen a good uptick of almost 8 to 9% on the stock. So from here on, do you see the positive momentum to continue?
Yeah, for ICICI Prudential Life, the downtrend of the previous 8-10 months seems to be over, and the stock has formed an important bottom reversal on a slightly lower mode around 525 level. And the overall chart pattern is indicating that the stock is likely to move further. Currently placed at the hurdle of 200-day EMA, and the way it has bounced back after a range movement is indicating that more upside is likely above the hurdle. So the next resistance to be watched is around the 655 to 660.
Okay, so those are the levels to watch out for on that stock. But let's move on from that and let's talk about Jana Small Finance Bank. This is also an earnings candidate, and it's largely been a poor set of numbers coming in from Jana Small Finance Bank. Let's understand why that has happened. And if you take a look at its Q4 numbers, it's looking very weak on the charts. And in fact, today also the stock is lower by 4.5%, and this is on the back of its NII. It is up only 0.9% on a year-on-year basis, so that's not even a 1% jump coming in on the net interest income. There's also the net profit metric. If you talk about that, that's lower by 61.6% on a year-on-year basis. And even if you take a look at the other metrics of the bank, they're not looking very healthy right now, because if you take a look at the sequential PAT as well, that is also up 11.3% on a year-on-year basis, but it's the overall PAT that has taken a big decline, and that is what is in fact weighing on the stock in today's trading session. So on the back of that, Jana Small Finance is down 4.6% as we speak.
All right, that's Jana Small Finance Bank declining away in trade. But Ravinder, coming to you, CET is another counter that's in focus on the back of its earnings, but good Q4 coming in for CET. That stock is up and away 8.7% in trade today. Tell us, what does the scorecard look like?
Well, as CET is in focus, the company has announced its Q4 number, and the company reported a revenue at rupees 3,421 crore as compared to 2,992 crore year-on-year basis. And if we talk about EBITDA, then company reported a EBITDA at rupees 388 crore. Margins also, margins, if we talk about margin, then margin was at 11.3% as compared to 13.1%. So overall, good set of number of CET, and management. There are management commentary coming in where they said, the company said that they are very satisfying that the top line performance for the quarter and overall, and the company managed to deliver a double-digit growth across all key categories. They say that the replacement segment delivered a strong growth consistently, and CET managed to deliver improvement in margins in Q4 as compared to Q3. So on the back of good Q4 numbers, stock is up over 8 to 9%.
Okay, so that's the reason CET is in focus. Very good set of numbers. Guidance has been upheld and it's looking positive as well. That stock soaring away in today's trading session. Let's move on from that. And Nagaraj, you've also, in fact, let's take that stock. You've also picked out CET for us on the charts. When I pull up the charts, what I can see for CET is, while today the stock is doing well, it has done so for the last 6 months as well. YTD looking good. Last 1 year also the stock was up 30%. We have seen quite the move coming in for CET. It's been a steady performer. Do you see this sustaining on the charts, or do you believe that such a run-up now will lead to some slowdown on the charts?
I'm expecting this upside momentum is likely to sustain. If you look at the last 2 months of price momentum, this stock price has witnessed a phenomenal strength on the upside. We have seen some dips and it has bounced back sharply over the period of time. I'm expecting more upside to come for this stock price even into new all-time highs. So 3600 is going to be my level where one may expect the hurdles to meet in for the CET at the higher levels.
Right, so a good set of Q4 results, and also on the charts looking rather bullish for CET. We also had Kumar Subaya, who's the CFO CET, who says that they will continue to focus on international business and hopes to see the export contribution rise in the next 2 years to come. Let's go across and listen into what he had to say.
We continue to focus on international business, okay, and as we had communicated in the past, our share of exports business on our revenues currently hovering around 20%. Our endeavor is to take it to 25% in a 2-year kind of a time frame. In the year that went by, in FY25, international business grew by about 8.5%. Okay, going into the current year, we do see double-digit kind of a growth. Overall, CET grew in double digits in full year, and also in Q4 we grew by about 14%. We would like to see some momentum in the international business from the current quarter. We had some challenges in the previous financial year with respect to availability of vessels, availability of containers on time. That had some impact on our revenue, but otherwise we grew strongly at 8.5%. We look forward to a double-digit growth in FY26. So we see a mid-single-digit kind of a growth possibility in the coming year. And we hope, in addition to that kind of a volume growth, we hope to get some price growth with premiumization and with some selective price increases. We hope to see a double-digit kind of a growth going into FY26 and overall at revenue level.
Okay, let's move on from that. That's the word from the management of CET. And let's talk about Praj Industries. Ansh, coming to you, it's an earnings candidate as well. Take us through the numbers.
Right, so the stock is trading with a decline of more than 7%. They have reported revenue at 860 crore, which is down by more than 15% on year-on-year basis. Talking about net profit, that has slipped down by around 56% from 92 crore directly to 40 crore. Talking about EBITDA, that has also slipped down by around 43%. If we check the numbers, then here also we are seeing it has declined from 131 crore to 74 crore, whereas margin has also significantly declined from 12.8% directly to 8.6%. Also, if you see on chart, then we are seeing very negative bias here because it is trading below 50, 100 and 200 DMA. With this, it has also touched 3-week low level, and this year stock is down by more than 40%.
Right, Praj Industries on the back of that news flow coming in. But coming to you, Nagaraj, you picked out Apollo Tyres for us. That one is also up in a way, almost 4% in trade today. In fact, in the last 1 month, it has shown some very good moves, up 12%. Do you see what are the levels that you're watching out for Apollo Tyres? Do you see the positive momentum to continue?
Yeah, of course, I'm expecting further upside. The chart pattern is looking very interesting. It has bounced back above the hurdle of 200 EMA. Current chart pattern is indicating a smaller, higher bottom formation. If you look at last 100 rupees move from 370 to 470, it has phenomenal strength we have seen in this stock price, and this upside momentum is likely to continue at least for some more period. And around 520 is going to be the next resistance to be watched in this sense.
Okay, so that's the take on Apollo Tyres. But just to address the numbers on the bottom of the screen, we have numbers coming out from Exide, and revenue is coming at 4,159 crores versus 4,009 crores, incrementally higher. Net profit has taken a dip at 255 crores compared to 283 crores. EBITDA also lower on a standalone year-on-year basis, 467 crores versus 517 crores. Margins have come in at 11.2% compared to 12.8%. So a shrinkage coming in on the margins, and it's a significant hit coming in on the margins as well. Exide is, you can see that sharp fall coming in Exide after the numbers have come out. It's a 2% cut coming in on Exide as we speak. So that's the earnings fine print for Exide. But Ankita, Varun Beverage is also an earnings candidate.
Absolutely, Sneha. Varun Beverages also reported its Q4 numbers. In fact, it came today during the market hours. Let's take a look at what the numbers look like. They've reported a 35% jump in the net profit in the quarter ended March 2025. The profit rose to 726 crores in Q1 against 537 crores on a year-on-year basis. The revenue also climbed 29% to 5,567 crores as against 4,317 crores in a year-ago period. The EBITDA climbed 27.8% to 1,264 crores in this quarter, as opposed to 989 crores on a year-on-year basis. The board has also announced an interim dividend of 50 paisa per share and fixed the record date for the same on 9th of May 2025. Now, as soon as the results came out, just notice the big sharp drop that came in and the sharp recovery thereafter that came in on Varun Beverages. We have recovered from the day's lows, but nonetheless, it's still trading in the red with cuts of 0.2%.
Okay, so that's the earnings fine print on Varun Beverages. Nagaraj, coming to you, Petronet LNG is the stock that you've picked out for us. Last 6 months, the stock has seen a little bit of a tumble coming in. That has been recovered over the last 1 month. However, year to date and 1 year, the stock is not done all that much. Tell us what are the levels that you're spotting on the charts going ahead.
Yeah, the stock price has formed an important bottom reversal around 270 levels and moved up sharply since then. Currently showing kind of a flat type pattern at the higher levels, at the highs of a downsloping trend line. And technically, we believe that bullish flat patterns are always normally trend continuation patterns. On that basis, I'm expecting a further upside breakouts around 320, 322 levels from here onwards, and that could pull the stocks towards the next resistance of around 340 in the near term.
Okay, so resistance of 340 in the near term is what Nagaraj is spotting for Petronet LNG. Let's talk about Star Health, also an earnings candidate, and the stock is in some pressure today because it has reported a sharp 99.7% drop in its net profit for the fourth quarter, weighed down by rising claims and underwriting losses. You can see the stock is lower by 4% right now. The company posted a net profit of just 50 lakh rupees for the quarter ended 31st March, down from 142 crores in the same period last year. So that's quite the sharp decline coming in. Net earned premiums for quarter 4 rose 11.9% year on year to 3,798.3 crores. However, the company has reported a substantial underwriting loss of 275.2 crore, which is a significant increase from 91.8 crore this time last year. Despite this, operating profit continued to remain stable at almost 87 crore rupees, slightly down from 90 crores a year ago. So some metrics have done well, some have been stable and okay on Star Health. That's the reason why the stock is not declining further. But well, yes, a huge loss coming in on the net loss front. The stock is lower by 4% as we speak.
All right, that's Star Health trading with cuts of 4% on the back of results. But coming to you, Nagaraj, you picked out Godrej Properties for us. Now, this one's doing very well in trade today. In fact, the entire realty basket is doing very well. It's continuing its good performance since yesterday. Godrej Properties, in fact, in the last 1 month has started seeing some traction, though it has corrected almost 25% in the last 6 months. So from here on, do you see, the momentum that it has picked up in the last 1 month to continue?
Yeah, I think this stock has been in accumulation phase over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Around 2100, 2150 is going to be a strong hurdle so far. And this accumulation, I am expecting this further upside to likely to continue above the hurdle of the consolidation. And more upside is likely. And currently, the real estate stocks are in the limelight. The sector itself is showing the positive trend. I'm expecting more upside in the Godrej Properties, and 2400 is the next resistance to be watched, which is the 200-day EMA.
Okay, so those are levels to watch out for on Godrej Properties. On that note, viewers, time to slip into a short break on this edition of Market Fatafat, and we'll be right back with more buzzers on the other side. So you stay tuned.